Hey, what's up you guys? It is Brad, and welcome to my Lego room. Come on, let me give you a tour. Welcome to my Lego room. Here in this video, I'm going to be giving you guys a full tour of the room here. This room contains my entire Lego collection, which is over 1,900 different sets and over 600,000 Lego bricks. I am so excited to show you guys around today, so let's get started. So I think the last time I gave a proper Lego room update was when Duck Bricks actually visited my Lego room, and since then, of course, a lot has changed, so I'm excited to be giving you guys an updated tour, or if you're new to the channel, a tour of my Lego room. So this room here is actually the second bedroom in my condo here in Toronto. So this is the doorway that is out to the rest of the room. And as you guys can see, as you walk back through this hallway here, you enter the actual Lego room, which I am very, very excited about. So very briefly on the door right here, you guys will be able to see I do have a bunch of banners and stuff like that from my old BrickLover 18 days. I've got the Medieval Times crown from Brickworld Chicago 2023. I've got these postcards up here from the Lego Botanical Collection, as well as a license plate. A couple bags here, as well as a menu from Legoland in Denmark. Right here, I've got the first of two closets here in the room. This one's got a bunch of posters on it, as well as a Lego City banner. And inside this closet is actually all of my sealed Lego sets. So these are the ones that I have yet to build. This is my backlog, and it's actually quite a bit smaller than it was a few months ago. So I am very proud of that. And the second closet on the opposite side of the room is actually my BrickLink store. And this is an entire video in itself, so you guys will have to stay tuned for that here on YouTube. Beside the BrickLink store, of course, though, I do have the first shelf here when you enter the room. So up here I've got a bunch of my Lego CMFs. These are from a bunch of different series, and this is not all the CMFs I own. This is just all the ones that fit in this display case and on this shelf here. Below that, I do have a bunch of Lego Creator 3-in-1 sets, as well as some Lego art that I just thought were really cool. I've got this shelf right here of all these things that I need to make videos on, everything from like CMFs to new books to subscription boxes and so much more. And then below that, I've got some more sets that need to be built. A lot of these ones are polybags, so they will be in episodes of like Mini Build Monday and things like that. So they are all just here for now until I get them built. On the opposite of that, I do have a bunch of Lego art sets, which are really cool. So I've got some ones that I custom made myself, two ones that are official Lego sets, the Mosaic Maker and more official sets. Over here on my radiator, I do have a bunch of really cool Lego magnets, which I'm really excited about, as well as some more custom artwork. And then over here, I've also got a periodic table of Lego colors and all of my minifigure parts in these stack-ons right here. I've got a few of these little Lego polybag builds, a bunch of stationary random things for Lego building, and then right beside that, the Saturn V. Just beyond the door here, when you first enter the room, this is kind of like my Lego city and building area. So of course, for starters, I got the big table right here, which I do all my Lego building on, or anything but sets, like mocks and things like that. This is on wheels, so I can move it all the way around the Lego room, which is really awesome. And the backdrop of that is my Lego city. But before we get to that, let's take a look at my parts collection right here. So I've actually created a whole separate video just about my Lego parts collection and giving you guys a tour because it would have taken way too long, but the gist of things is pretty much all my Lego parts are stored right here. So they're stored between a mixture of these Pappy Max storage containers where every single drawer is, meticulously sorted to make Lego building as easy as possible. But I've also got these bins right here that aren't as well sorted, but they're still here. A lot of these are bricks and just random color. These are bricks down here. I've got everything from like panels and Technic parts, and the Technic really does need to be sorted better, but it's there at least, as well as a bunch of Lego plates. And then over here, one of my newer systems is the Best Craft, which I've been really excited about integrating these into the Lego collection, and I'm still working on putting a lot of these parts away, but as you can see, they are very, very efficient. So if you guys want to see a full Lego parts storage tour, definitely make sure you check out that video. So I do have all the drawers right here and do make the best use of the space as I can. You guys can see I do have a bunch of Lego sets up here as well. So on top of the white storage containers, I just have a bunch of Disney sets. So these are basically, these right here are my Disney shelves. You guys can see I've got like the Disney camera, I've got Stitch, a couple gift with purchases, as well as a couple sets like the Disney train, the Disney castle, Peter Pan, and of course the much larger Disney castle right here. So this one I'm really excited about. This was the first ever Lego set I got completely free with my VIP points, which I think is really cool. And then beyond that, I've got all of my Lego Disney minifigures right here on a base plate. I've got one of my old BrickLover 18 banners, again from the BrickLover 18 15 days. And then right here, I have like a bunch of amusement park sets. So I've got everything from the carousel right here to this ride, this UFO ride, as well as the big Lego Ferris wheel that came out several years ago. And there's even a few mocks mixed in here as well. So then, like I've already mentioned, I do have my Lego City right here, which I'm very excited about. So I made a lot of videos on my Lego City. I update it very regularly, so you guys can check out my Lego City updates on my channel as well in the playlist there. But you guys can see there are a bunch of Lego sets in here, all the modular buildings, or not all of them, but most of them, as well as a bunch of Lego mocks as well. So again, if you want to see that in more detail, check out my Lego City update. Beyond the city right here, I do have a Lego blanket on the wall that I got many years ago. This is from the Lego movie, which is like the best Lego movie ever. You guys can see it is Emmett and Benny right there. Below the table, I do have some more storage as well, which I didn't really cover that in the part storage video, but this is really just things for the Lego City, you know, minifigures, cars, and random builds and things like that. And then beyond that, I've just got a bunch more Lego storage, and there's more parts and stuff like that down here. I covered everything here with this black fabric just because it's kind of ugly. There's just a bunch of random boxes. I've got like instruction manuals back there and random boxes, and it's just a mess. So it looks much nicer the way I've got it covered now. Above the Lego City, I do have a bunch of Lego posters. So I've got everything from the Batman movie posters to the Lego movie posters, which I think are really cool. And unfortunately, I don't have all of them, but I do have a nice collection, so it's cool to see those hanging there. And then I've got a couple photo ledges up here with a bunch of Lego City sets. These are just like cars and vehicles mostly that I don't want to actually include in the Lego City because they would just make the Lego City way too crowded, but I still wanted them here in my Lego room on display and not just under the Lego City table like they were before, so that's why they are all up here. I get asked what this is all the time, but this is just a random instruction manual from one of the Toys R Us space sets that was really comically large, so I just thought I would hang it there, which is pretty fun. And then back here, I've got a bunch of Lego boxes that I probably should throw out because I've got more boxes over here as well. And of course, now that we've seen this part of the Lego room, let's take a look at the rest of the room right here. This is where I do all my filming, any of the other work and building that I need to do, as well as where I have all my Lego sets on display. So before anybody asks in the comments, all of the shelves here in the Lego room are IKEA's Billy bookcases. They are just, in my opinion, the best shelves for displaying your Lego. They're versatile, they're always in style, and you can buy them pretty much whenever you need. Like, it's not like they're gonna discontinue this line. So that's what I've gone ahead and decorated my Lego room walls with right here. The only exception is this brickhead shelf right here. This one was custom made by my dad just because I wanted something that was a little bit better to display my brickhead collection. I do have most of the brickheads, not all of them that have been ever sold, but I am on a quest to collect them all. So this is where I have them displayed right now, and eventually I'm gonna have to double layer them just because you guys can see, have completely run out of space, but that is a later problem. So across from all the bookshelves right here, I do have the area in my room where I do all my editing. I have all my film stations right here, and I'm gonna come back to all this area right here because you guys can see it is very busy. And in the meantime, let's take a look at the bookshelves right here. I'm gonna kind of speed run all of the shelves right here because again, I feel like that could be a totally separate video, but right up here, I've got a bunch of Lego boats and random things for my Lego City. So these are just like extra buildings, especially a lot of the older Lego creator houses that are way better than the newer ones. I've got a mock here of a gas station, and then like I said, a bunch of Lego boats, and I'm gonna skim through these shelves, but if you guys do want a full Lego shelf tour, please do let me know down in the comments below. I've also down here got some more Lego mocks as well as some Lego books. Beside that, I do have my Lego Roman Colosseum right here, which was at the time I bought it, the largest Lego set ever made. So I did get a special table for it, and I wish I had a better spot to display it because I feel like it doesn't get to be displayed in all its glory here, but it's pretty cool. And then beside that, I do have this white chair. This is just an extra chair that I had in my living room and I didn't need it anymore, so I brought it in here and decorated it with some Lego pillows, a Lego plushie, and a Lego blanket, which is really fun. Behind the chair and the Roman Colosseum, I do have a bunch more Lego books. So you guys are able to see, like, I've got a lot of Lego books and magazines right here, a huge collection. I do like to read them and it's really fun to look at. Here I've got a bunch of other sets, including some BrickLink designer program sets and some ideas and icon sets, which I think are really cool. This is Pirates of Barracuda Bay, which I really like, as well as this Lego pirate flag. And then up here, I've got some more Lego boats. And you guys may or may not know, but a lot of the videos here on my channel that have been the most successful are videos where I test out whether or not Lego boats can float. So that's why I've got so many boats here in my Lego room. In fact, I do have more boats all the way up here as well, including like the second largest Lego set ever made, the Lego Titanic, as well as a bunch of other boats over here that eventually wharfs into the planes, but we'll talk about that in a minute. On this shelf, I do have a bunch of Lego minifigures that I've made from my travels all over the world, as well as a bunch of the official Lego posters postcards. Below that here, I do have 2 shelves of sitcom sets. So I've got everything from like Friends and The Big Bang Theory, The Flintstones, more Friends up here, as well as a BrickLink Designer Program set. I've got Lego City Police right here, which this is like the Lego set that really catapulted me into being a Lego collector. So I'm really excited to have that one on display. And then below that, I've got like Lego Home Alone, as well as Lego Indiana Jones. And then down here, I've got some Lego City Fire, as well as Lego City Police. I've already covered my BrickHead shelves, so I won't go too much into display there, but you guys can see I've got a ton of Lego helicopters over here, 3 shelves worth. Then below that, I've got some Lego Ninjago sets and Lego Ninjago Movie. I've got a bunch of Scooby-Doo sets from back in the day, and as well as some Lego Movie and some Lego Hidden Side sets. And then down here is just kind of a mixture of a couple sets. I've got a lot of Disney. I want another shelf for this shelf right here, just because it's obviously doesn't have enough sets on it to cover it. It's not tall enough, so I think I can add another one. But I've got some Disney sets down here, as well as some Lego underwater ones. On the shelf beside that, I do have a bunch of Lego Agent sets, which is again one of my favorite themes that really catapulted me into being a Lego collector. I've got 2 shelves of Lego Movie 2, and Lego Batman movie sets right here. So they're all just kind of mixed in together, and I try to fit as many sets on there as possible. A lot of them are like flying and stuff like that, just so I could get as many there as possible, like I said. Above that, I've got some Lego Disney sets right here, including the buildable characters and the Disney train. And then this is one of my favorite shelves. I mean, these 3 shelves right here are some of my favorites. These are just things that I've got at Lego conventions over the years. Lego conventions and events, I guess. Like, it's a little bit of a mixture there. Like, I've got a Polaroid from when I went to New York City, the very rare 3D printed Lego duck, a bunch of little tiles and gifts that were given to me, a bunch of sig figs right here from people in the Lego community, as well as the Scareback Fan Weekend exclusive set. We've got AFOL Day minifigures, a canceled Lego set right here, more builds from friends in the Lego community that I purchased or given, which are fun, some exclusive keychains. Beside that, I do have all these convention builds and stuff like that here as well. I've got some rare or older Lego. A bunch of these are convention exclusive sets that were purchased or given out when I attended those Lego conventions, a couple trophies that I won, business cards from others in the Lego community, and then up here are just kind of more rare or exclusive Lego sets that I have. So these are all my brick badges from the various Lego conventions, a bunch of Lego customs, some pretty rare Lego minifigures, some Lego make and take, some custom printed Lego pieces right here, especially those from the community. I've got a bunch of Lego builds or just like hard to find pieces, some more pretty rare or just exclusive Lego minifigures, a signed Ninjago box from The Fold, which is the band that sings the Ninjago song, this golden Lego sprue, as well as these are some of my favorite things here in the Lego collection. I've got a misprinted 2x4 tile from the Galaxy Explorer, this test print Lego minifigure that mysteriously made its way out of a Lego factory, and these pellets of ABS plastic. These are the little pellets that is turned into Lego bricks, which is really fun. Beside that, I do have a bunch of Lego architecture sets, so a bunch of different random cities, as well as this Lego Masters build right here. Below the other convention exclusive sets, like I mentioned, I do have some Chinese New Year sets down here. So I basically have 3 shelves of Chinese New Year sets just because there are so many of them. And I collected a bunch over the years that I think are really cool. So I've got them all down here. And apparently I still need to update that to 2025 because it's been a few months. And yeah, more Chinese New Year sets right down here. And then the last shelf on this set right here is just a bunch of Lego City sets. So these are ones that I built more recently. The Ski and Climbing Center, a couple of the Lego City yellow trucks, both of the versions because they're both really cool, and a mock I made for Brick World Chicago in 2024. Now we're getting into some of my favorite shelves here in the Lego room because these are the ones that actually appear on video. So I will just take a little bit of a step back. This area in my Lego room, I just routinely, it's got all my shelves and stuff like that, all the sets that I have on display. But as I mentioned, this is open space right here, so I'll often have other tables and things like that come in for any time I need to do the work. And then of course, like I mentioned, this over here is my filming studio. So on this shelf, I do have a bunch of vintage or older Lego sets. So some of these are still new, sealed in box, and other ones have been built. Below that, I do have some Lego space sets, as well as some Lego video game related ones like Nintendo. I've got a bunch of space sets down here, like the International Space Station, the Creator Astronaut, and a bunch of different spaceships. I've got another really big spaceship right here, which I think is a really cool set. And then some Lego House exclusives, or like this was a gift with purchase, I guess, of the Lego House set. Below that, I do have a bunch of Lego polybags and smaller Lego build. So these are just a combination of poly bags from many different themes. And then below that, I've got some Lego City sets. As I said, these shelves are some of my favorite here in the Lego room because these contain all the sets that are routinely on my video background. So that's how you know they are some of my favorites. Up here, I've got my Lego White House sets right here, a couple different versions of the White House, as well as some very rare or special keychains. I've got like the Galaxy Explorer down here, some sets from my time in Europe, including the exclusive and now retired Billund Airport. I've got this custom SWAT set, as well as the Lego Architecture Big Ben, and a couple other English Lego builds. Down here, I've got some other classic space sets. This is obviously a remake of a classic space set, but these down here are the original ones. This shelf contains all of my exclusive Lego sets from Denmark, not all of them, but a lot of them. I've got like the Lego House 6 bricks, as well as all the bricks from my 2 different visits to the Lego House, all the different bracelets. I've got the Mini Chef Restaurant minifigure. I've got the actual Lego House architecture set, as well as the Lego Wooden Duck, which has been signed, and some more poly bags from the Lego House. Below that, I do have a bunch of other Lego Store kind of exclusives or Lego history sets. So I've got a few different versions of the Lego Store right here. Some of these were gifted purchases. Some of these were sets available for sale. I've got a couple Jeffries from Toys R Us, as well as an old Lego Make and Take build. And then over here, I've got the 60th anniversary BrickLink set of the Lego history, which is really fun. Below that, I've just got a bunch of random sets, including some old gift with purchases, the Capitol building, and a couple sets right here. And then below that, I've got some more vintage Lego sets that I've, collected over my years, a couple planes and stuff like that, which are always fun. And down here, I've just got a miscellaneous shelf of Lego City and Lego Dreams. Up here, I've got my Brick Loot builds, as well as builds from Lego Lands and other travels that I've been on. Here, I've got things like my Pharrell set, more Lego House exclusive sets, and my wooden Lego minifigure. Down here, I've got more Lego House exclusive sets and a bunch of other, sets that are important to me, gift with purchases, sets I bought from friends, as well as old Lego Studio sets. And then this shelf is just a bunch of random things, a lot of gift with purchases. I've got some empty boxes right here that aren't actually empty because they're filled with Lego, but not necessarily the Lego sets they're in. A couple things that didn't make it into my Lego City, but are, city related. A Lego House exclusive set, all my Lego Passports collection, a couple vehicles, this really cool Lego Castle, Minions, Minecraft, more Lego ideas and icon sets over here. I love that line, especially the ideas. So you guys will be able to see a bunch of the older sets right here. A couple of these are brick built 2x4 bricks. We've got more Lego ideas up here, the Women of NASA, the Research Institute. Over here, I've got a bunch of Chinese New Year sets, a couple cameras, because obviously you guys know I really like cameras, as well as the Lego ideas ship in a bottle. Finally, last but not least, the last shelf over here is all my Lego seasonal sets. So I've got everything, all seasons actually, a lot of Christmas, that's what a majority of these shelves are, but I have a bunch of seasons. Down here, I've got all my Lego customs, which are brick arms and things like that, all in binders. And then here, all my other CMFs, the ones that didn't make it on the shelves, are all bagged here by series. I do have the Empire State Building over here, as well as a bunch of camera equipment in the corner that I just don't use very regularly. Up here is just a bunch of miscellaneous Lego storage, as you guys can see, a bunch of containers and things like that. I've got some architecture sets that are pretty tall, some boxes from videos I've made in the past, as well as some larger Lego sets like these planes that are just hard to display. Here I've got this pretty old Brickmania kit, which I think is really cool. Dan told me this was very rare. And then I've got the Jurassic Park set up here, and then a bunch more Lego planes. I did talk about these a little bit earlier, but in addition to the collection of boats I have, I of course do have a bunch of Lego planes and helicopters. And while a bunch of the helicopters are right here on the shelves, a lot of them are just way too large, so that's why they're sitting up here instead. Of course, over here now is my filming setup. So you guys have seen the sets behind me on all the videos, but here's my actual setup. So I've got this desk right here, which is a sit and stand desk. This is where I do all of my Lego videos that I'm sitting at the desk, as well as all my Lego set building. So I've got this tripod set up right here. This is where the camera will go, and I'll just sit here on this side. I'll kind of move these cameras out of the way, and this is where I will do all my set building, and I film all of those for my speed build channel. Of course, I do have my cameras over here, so this is the main camera that I use, but I will often set it up for a second or a third camera depending on the video that I need. And I've got another tripod there with a teleprompter for any of my scripted videos. You guys can see over here, I've got the monitor set up, so when I'm sitting here, I'm able to see what I'm filming, and then I've got all my lights here as well. I've got this cart that obviously contains the monitor like you guys already saw, and then just a bunch of camera equipment that I need to make my videos, extra tripods and things like that. Over here, I've got this whiteboard that I haven't updated in many years, but it's still just kind of hanging there until I get rid of it. I've got a bunch of Lego sets below that, a lot of Lego botanical sets, just because I find these hard to display. I don't really know where they should go. And then I've got this wind turbine that's absolutely massive right here. I've got this Lego picture that I got many, many years ago, and just a bunch of miscellaneous Lego sets down here, including a couple of like the Star Wars bus. This is just another storage container of a bunch of random things. I've got like fan mail right here, things from Lego conventions, other Lego custom third-party builds and stuff like that. Here I've got like, this is really heavy, but I've got like stickers and posters and business cards and like any paper really things with Lego, extra parts for Lego sets, old receipts for tax purposes, and like even like cookie cutters and stuff like that. And as I mentioned, I do have all this extra camera equipment right here, as well as a Lego Brickumentary poster. Beyond the filming setup here, I do have a bunch of other Lego posters as well from the various Lego movies. I've got this filming setup right here, which is a white background and some lights for any of the shots that I need with just a plain white background. And the paper's getting a little yellow, so I will have to change that out soon enough. Beside that, I've got the Lego Big Ben set, which is really cool. I built this one last year, even though it is quite an older set, and it was really fun to do. And then I've got a couple other Lego sets back here, as well as the Statue of Liberty, a couple botanical sets, as well as the cat, which I think is really fun. And these are just a couple things that I sometimes use for when I'm doing some filming. Below that, I've got this stool right here that I sit on. My grandpa made this for me many, many years ago. It says Lego. And then I've got a suitcase and some architecture sets on this bookcase that I didn't know what to do with. I've got a binder of some filming tips. I've got all these different colors of fabric backdrops. And then I've got my desk set up right here with my computer on it. This is where I do a lot of my filming and editing. Way back in the day when I first moved into this space, I actually had my computer in my living room because I had a proper desk set up out there for school and stuff like that. But then I just found I was spending a lot of time editing, and because I was spending so much time editing, I was always at that desk and never in my Lego room. And even when I would film something, sometimes I would need to, refilm a shot or something like that, and I'd have to run in here, refilm the shot, bring the memory cards back and forth, and I'm like, this is making no sense. So why don't I just move my computer in here? And I did that a few years ago, and I've absolutely had no regrets since. So I do have two monitors right here, which is really fun. So this is the main one I use, and this is my secondary. I've got my mouse and my keyboard and stuff like that. I've got another camera that I often use. Over here, I've got a DVD player, my computer, and of course my stacks of hard drives, the microphones for anytime I need to do a voiceover. This is my new DJI microphones, which I'm filming on right now. And then I've got a bunch of Speed Champion sets right here just to look at. Here I've got a bunch of computer equipment and stuff like that. This is kind of boring, but I've got all my extra phones, and I've got batteries and cords and cables and all that stuff, all my memory cards here. And then here are a lot more cables. Here are all my other extra hard drives and stuff like that. I've got so many hard drives and memory cards and extra phone cases. And even down here, I've got more cables and like a whole podcast mic setup. So lots of computer equipment right here for sure. Beyond that, I do have a bunch of my custom Lego minifigures. So a lot of these are just custom minifigures or custom products that I've acquired over the years that I love to look at. Above that, I've got my YouTube play buttons right here. This is the one I made, I think when I hit like 1,000 subscribers, or maybe it was 10,000 or something like that, but I can't remember. I made that a really long time ago. And then this is the one that I actually got when I hit 100,000 subscribers. So that was really, really cool. I kept it in BrickLover 18, even though I knew I was going to be changing the name, just because that is the channel that I hit that 100,000 subscribers with. So I thought that was really, really cool. And then above that, I've got a bunch more custom Lego minifigures. So these ones are ones in packaging. The top ones here are from BrickLoot subscription boxes. So they are all their custom ones, none of the official Lego ones. And then below that are just a bunch of different ones from various different Lego customizers. So I've got everything from minifigs.com to United Bricks, Brickmania over here, Eclipse Graphics, Citizen Brick, like so many different figures right here. I think packaging is a big part of the minifigure experience for me. So anytime I can get a custom minifigure with packaging, I really enjoy it. And then I've even got a couple canvas bags hanging over here. Of course, I do have my TV on the wall right here, which I often use to watch YouTube videos and movies. And then I've just got a bunch of notes. I've got a photo from Medieval Times in 2023, as well as this signed Lego Masters poster, a Brick World sticker, and then a couple other Lego sets down here. We've got more Speed Champion set, a bunch of Lego Botanicals, we've got the Haunted House, and then here a couple other sets like the Jazz Band right here, Fazbear from Cool Guy Dom, and more Lego Creator 3-in-1 sets down here, as well as a couple gifts, and finally a movie collection of NCIS and Lego movies and things like that. This is the only room in my house with a DVD player. It's just sitting there underneath my computer. and that's what I can play on the TV. So I just keep all of my DVDs in here because to me that makes the most sense. And there you have it, you guys. This has been my Lego room. So this room and the closet next door are over 500 square feet that, as I said, I got so lucky to find here in downtown Toronto. Like, that is almost unheard of. And you guys can see from the whole tour here that I try and make the most use of this space that I can. I've really utilized every corner, all the wall space. Will I have room for more Lego in the future? Absolutely, because I always find a way to make new space. But I am very, very happy with this space. I really feel like I've been able to make it my own ever since I moved in here in 2021. I've constantly changed it up and tried new things, and I just really, really like the space. I find everything has its purpose. Everything's got its place. I love the filming setup over here that's just always set up and ready to go. Anytime I come in and need to film, I am good. I've got this big open space in the middle for when I need to set up additional tables to do extra building or parting things out for the BrickLink store. I've got this table right here, which I use for mock building, and I love that I no longer do my set building over here and instead do that over here, just because that always leaves this table for any time I want to do any mock building or anything like that. I don't need to have it set up constantly for speed builds. And of course, the Lego City is like a big focal point of this room. That's like my pride and joy and what I continue working on, and I wouldn't be able to build that Lego City without my big, massive Lego parts collection. I know it's just absolutely outstanding, the amount of Lego sets and the amount of Lego parts that I've just been able to cram into this room, but that's what makes it so unique. And when I build a Lego room, I know some people have like these very aesthetically pleasing Lego rooms, and that's not me. I wanted my room to be chaotic but clean. I want it to look really nice, but I want it to look full. I wanted the shelves to be cluttered but also organized. Like, I don't want to just walk in here and feel completely overwhelmed by the space, and I feel like I've done a really great job of making sure that is not the case. While it may look very, very busy and it looks a little chaotic, absolutely everything in this room does have its place. I know where everything is. It's all kind of grouped together by themed, and as I said, if you guys want to see more about these Lego shelves, I can definitely do a tour in the future, but I hope I was able to give you guys a better look at my Lego room right here, so you guys are able to see kind of how I work and how I keep my space. Of course, like I said, if there's anything else that you want me to cover in another video in addition to the BrickLink room, I would love to, because it's always my pleasure to make sure I'm delivering you guys the content that you want to see, and these are some of my favorite videos to watch on YouTube, so just let me know down in the comments below. Anyway, with that, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in to my Lego room tour here on YouTube for 2025. Let me know down in the comments below if there's anything I missed or anything you want to see in a little bit more detail, and I would be happy to make a video on it. So thank you guys again so much for watching. Stay tuned for the future videos, especially videos of like my BrickLink store as well as the Lego parts tour, because I'm so excited to show you guys those. So anyway, thanks again for watching, and I will see you all here in the next video.